All right, welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I'm going to be taking you through a gentle yoga practice. My name is Nicole and I am so excited to be here with you guys today. So, whenever you're ready, you can just begin lying down. If you have a yoga mat, you can put a yoga mat down. If you don't have a yoga mat and you're on a hard surface, you might want to toss down a towel or a blanket or anything like that. And all you will need is a yoga mat, your bodies, and maybe some water. So, whenever you're ready, we'll just begin here in our opening Shavasana. So just starting lying in any comfortable position your body would like to come into, and come onto your backs, your side, your stomach, and just starting to settle into this space. You can send arms and legs long here, taking up space. Or if we're working with any lower back sensitivity this evening, it might feel better to bend up those knees, taking the soles of the feet mat width distance apart, then allowing the knees to fall in towards one another. So this evening we'll be going through a gentle yoga practice. I really encourage you to listen to your body through this practice, remembering that I'm just here as a guide. And if something that I offer for you doesn't feel right in your own body, you're more than welcome to take any other options or modifications that may feel better for you in the moment. But just beginning lying here just as you are. If you feel comfortable doing so, you can begin to close down those eyes. Beginning to seal the lips, allowing the teeth to part, letting any tension go from the jaw. Allowing the shoulders to melt down and away from the ears. And then just sending arms and legs long, or keeping those knees bent up. Allowing the fingers and toes to fall light. Just beginning to settle into this space here as we begin to find stillness through the physical body. Beginning to invite that same type of energy into the mind here. Letting go of whatever you were doing before you showed up on your mat. Letting go of any to-do lists. And letting go of any expectations you may have for yourself for this next hour. Just allowing yourself to become present in this moment. Beginning to notice how your body's feeling. Noticing if maybe you're holding on to any tension or tightness. Can we begin to let go? And then beginning to notice the breath here. Just starting to deepen those inhales. Breathing in through the nose. Feeling the chest and belly begin to rise. As you exhale, having a lengthened exhale out through the nose. Feeling the body sinking into the ground underneath you. Now maybe we choose to stick with this lengthened breath through our practice today. Maybe you'd like to take a bit more control over the breath, beginning to come into our Samavriti, or equal parts breath. We're going to start to take those inhales to a consistent count of maybe a 4 or a 5, finding what works well for your body today. And then matching your exhales to that same count, maybe a 4 or a 5. And then with this lengthened inhale and lengthened exhale, maybe we begin to find a slight pause at the top of the inhale. And then adding in that slight pause at the bottom of your exhale. Now this Samavriti, or equal parts breath, can be really great at keeping you present in the moment. If you ever feel that physical practice beginning to get away from you, knowing that that breath is always there for you. And if all we do today is just lie on those mats and focus on the breath, knowing that that is yoga just as it is, we can do that. That's what we're needing. Before we get started, I invite you to take a moment to set an intention for your practice this evening. Just asking yourself, what do you want to get from your time here? What's something that could keep you present in the moment? Maybe something to come back to if you ever begin to feel the mind starting to wander. It Could be something as simple as I am present, I am calm. Just reminding yourself to breathe with I breathe in and I breathe out. And then once you have that intention set for yourself, let's begin to invite some movement back into the body. Just starting to wiggle through fingers and toes. Moving to wrists and ankles, starting to roll. And then just taking the head side to side like you're shaking the head no. Finding some movement through the neck here. On your next inhale, we're going to take a nice big full body stretch. Arms can come up overhead, toes can point or flex towards the front of the room. Just getting really long here, creating space through the spine. And then as you exhale, we're going to take the arms alongside us, bending up the knees, taking the soles of the feet to the mat. From here, pressing through the feet, lifting the hips just enough to shift them a couple inches to the right. And then from here, extending the legs to the bottom left corner of your mat. We're going to take the shoulders, the head, and the arms to the top left corner of the mat. Coming into our Bananasana, making yourself into the shape of a banana. Trying to keep the right shoulder and right hip pressing down to the ground. Then if you'd like to deepen this stretch, we can begin to cross the right ankle over the left. Maybe grabbing a hold of the right wrist with the left hand. Breathing here, in and out through the nose. With every inhale, feeling that side body expand. With every exhale, feeling your body sink just a little heavier down to the ground here. Beautiful job. Taking 2 more breaths here. Nice, deep, full body breaths here. On your next exhale, if you cross the ankles, letting that go, releasing the grip on the wrist if you took it, and then beginning to bring yourself back through center. Arms come alongside, knees bend up. And we'll come over to the other side here, pressing to the feet, lifting the hips, shifting them a couple inches to the left. Extending the legs to the bottom right corner of the mat, and then bringing the shoulders, head, and arms to the top right corner of the mat. Again, if you'd like to deepen this stretch on the side, maybe the left ankle crosses over the right. Maybe the right hand grabs a hold of the left wrist. Taking nice deep breaths here into the left side body. Trying to keep the left shoulder and hip pressing down to the ground. Breathing nice and deep here. Taking 2 more breaths here. Feeling the length through the left side body. On your next exhale, releasing the ankles being crossed, the grip on the wrist, coming back to center. And from here, we're gonna hug the left knee in towards the chest, bringing both hands to the top of the left shin. And then beginning to make this pose active, flexing through the feet, pressing the heels out and away from you. And then if you'd like to invite some movement in here, we can begin to move with the breath through the left hip. Maybe it feels nice to inhale, open the left knee up towards the shoulder. Exhale, coming back to the center. Or maybe creating space between the belly and the thigh on an inhale, and finding some gentle compression on an exhale. Now, this wind reliever posture is really great for aiding in digestion. Applying that gentle pressure on the lower belly here. Let's take 2 more breaths here on this side. There's a place of stillness that feels nice to settle into. Taking a couple breaths there. When you're ready, beginning to settle back into center. On your next inhale, bending up the right leg to meet the left. And as you exhale, sending the left leg long, both hands come to the top of the right shin. Again, keeping those feet flexed, sending the toes up towards the ceiling, and then choosing if you'd like to find some movement or settling into stillness. Trying to avoid any pinching sensations here in this wind reliever posture. And Just moving wherever feels nice in your body. Couple more breaths here. Just because you found movement or stillness on the first side doesn't mean we need to do the same thing on the second. Finding what feels good on side to side. Beginning to find stillness back into center. Hugging the left knee back in to meet the right for a full wind reliever here. Both knees coming into the chest. And then maybe finding some movement side to side here. Whenever you're ready, we'll take the hands to the back of the thighs. We'll just start with a couple spinal rocks up and down here, going for around 5 to 6 spinal rocks before we make our way to seated. Perfect. Whenever you're ready, we'll meet in a comfortable seated position. You can come to cross-legged. We're going to take the hands in front of us, reaching the arms forward. From here, as you inhale, we'll open the arms, open the chest, gaze can lift. And as you exhale, feeling the belly button pull back behind you, arms reach in front of you. Inhale, chest opens, arching through that back body. And exhale, rounding through the back body, arms reach forward. 2 more breaths here, just like that in our seated cat-cow. Moving through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae with your breath here. Last one, inhale to open, expand the front body. And exhale, rounding through the back body. Beautiful. As you inhale, let's come back to center. We're going to take the left fingertips back behind us. Right hand comes to the left thigh. Inhale, find length. And as you exhale, twisting to the left. Now, if it feels okay to do so, you can take this twist into the neck, looking over the back shoulder. Or maybe gaze just stays straight over the chest here. Thinking of growing long with every inhale, finding length. With every exhale, maybe settling just a little deeper into the twist. 1 more breath here. And on your next exhale, let's return back to center. Taking the left hand down beside you, inhale, right arm reaches up and over, bending through the side body here. Thinking of opening the chest up, and then finding length through this top arm. Try not to collapse through this stretch here. On your next inhale, coming back to center and just gently guiding the head over to the right. Making sure not to tug or pull on the head. You can even do this without the hand there. Or maybe just using it to apply some gentle pressure. Good, 1 more breath here. And releasing. Let's switch which leg is in front if you're cross-legged. And then taking the right fingertips back behind you. Inhale, find length. Exhale, twisting to the right. Left hand comes on top of right thigh. Again, maybe the gaze looks back behind you, or maybe it just stays to the side. And then finding length on your inhale, and maybe settling a little bit deeper into your twist on the exhale. 1 more breath here. And exhale, releasing back to center. Taking the right fingertips down beside you. Inhale, left arm reaches up and over. Dropping that top shoulder away from the ear. And then really think of finding length and reaching here. Nice job, everyone. Keeping the chest open. 1 more breath here. As you inhale, coming back to center, dropping the left ear down to left shoulder. Again, just gentle pressure with that hand, being sure not to tug or pull on the head. Couple breaths here. Perfect, releasing that grip. And then just swinging the legs back behind you, finding your way into a tabletop. From here, we're gonna tuck the 10 toes underneath of us. And then slowly starting to sit yourself back, placing the hips on top of the heels. Making sure all 10 toes are tucked underneath you, maybe helping the pinky toes under. This is really intense through the bottoms of the feet. We can always lift those hips to take a little bit of pressure off the feet. If you feel okay here, we'll hang out here for just a couple breaths. We're gonna take the fingers, interlocking them, and then just starting to make figure eights with the wrists here. Good, getting those wrists ready for any planks or downward facing dogs we may happen to come into today. And then from here, let's pause and center. We're gonna switch the grip of those fingers, and then the hardest thing we're gonna do today, try to reverse the direction of those figure eights. It never works in my brain for some reason. Good, couple figure eights here. Whenever you're ready, letting that go, giving those wrists a shake out. And then slowly coming forward, untucking the toes. Might feel nice to gently tap the tops of the feet out on the mat, or just letting them go here. Let's take the big toes to touch, knees can come wide, pressing the hips back, arms reach long in front of you. Finding your first child's pose here, allowing the forehead to rest down to the ground. Just taking a couple breaths here. Now this child's pose is here for you at any point throughout our practice today. If you just need a moment to reconnect with that breath, maybe you don't like what I'm offering you, or any other reason, you're welcome to come here, or any other resting posture, may you need it. Whenever you're ready, let's inhale, shift our weight back forward, coming into your tabletop, shoulders stack on top of wrists, hips on top of knees. From here, tucking your toes underneath you and sending the hips high for our first downward facing dog here. You can begin to pedal out your downward dog if your body's craving some movement. Maybe shaking the head yes and no to let any tension from the neck drip away. And then from here, we're gonna settle into center. We're gonna come high onto the balls of the feet, lifting the heels. Take a nice big bend through the knees, allowing the belly to rest on the thighs, and then feeling the chest pressing towards the back of the room. From here, beginning to extend through the knees, keeping the chest where it is, and then feeling the heels dropping down towards the mat, feeling that stretch through the back side of the legs here. Good. From here, let's take the gaze to the front of the mat, walking the feet up to meet the hands. As you inhale, finding a halfway lift, getting long through the spine, shoulders roll back and down, hands can find shins or thighs, and exhale, fold forward. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head reaches long, core is strong, back is flat, and exhale, fold forward. On your next inhale, feet plant down to the ground, arms sweep up, coming to standing. And exhale, hands can come through heart center and down beside you. Beautiful. You can grab a sip of water if you would like, and then we're gonna meet in Tadasana at the top of our mats whenever you're ready. So once you're ready for that Tadasana, we'll find the four corners of the feet grounding down into the mat. You can rock side to side, front to back, just feeling really stable here. Having some gentle lightness through the backs of the knees, core is strong, shoulders roll back and down, having energy coming through the fingertips. Good, standing tall in our mountain pose here. As you inhale, arms sweep up, getting tall. And as you exhale, fold forward. Allowing the shoulders to round forward, maybe taking a light bend through the knees. As you inhale, find that halfway lift, resetting through the spine. And exhale, hands plant, stepping back, finding your high plank. Good, pressing to the 10 fingertips, taking the weight out of the wrists, feeling strong through the core. We can always drop down to the knees here in our high plank if that's more comfortable for you. And as you inhale, weight shifts forward. As you exhale, let's all drop down to the knees, untuck the toes, elbows bend, coming all the way down to the ground. On your inhale, come into Cobra, lifting the chest with little to no weight through the hands. And exhale, lowering down, pressing through tabletop and back into your downward facing dog. Hips go high, couple breaths here. Now, if downward facing dog isn't the most comfortable posture for you to rest in or take a couple breaths in, you're more than welcome to come to a tabletop or a child's pose at any point when downward dog is cued. On your next inhale, let's take the gaze in between the hands, walking, stepping, hopping the feet up to meet the hands. As you inhale, find a halfway lift, roll the shoulders back and down, spine gets long, and exhale, fold forward. As you inhale, arms are gonna sweep up, overhead. And then from here, we're gonna reach the fingertips to the right side of the room. Hips can bump to the left. Now for a little bit more support here, maybe that right hand comes down to the thigh. And then thinking of opening the chest up here. If you'd like a little bit more, maybe the left ankle crosses on the top of the right. Maybe that right arm stays lifted. Just a couple breaths here, you got it. Nice work. Opening up to the chest, keeping the shoulders dropping down and away from the ears. One more breath here. And as you inhale, arms come up to center. Exhale, let's sit low into a chair pose, bending the knees, setting the hips low. Keeping the core strong. Now, if this is too much through the shoulders, we can bring the hands to heart center. And exhale, sitting just 1 inch lower here. Beautiful job. Just a couple breaths here. Feeling the strength through the legs. Checking if you can wiggle those toes, seeing if the weight's through the heels, which is where we want it to be. One more breath here. And as you exhale, let's fold forward, let that go. Might feel nice to grab onto opposite elbows, maybe swaying side to side here, releasing through the lower back. Couple breaths here. Now if you grabbed a hold of elbows, let's release that grip. Bring the hands down to the ground, and on your next inhale, find a halfway lift. As you exhale, planting the hands, stepping back, finding your high plank. Good, pressing to the 10 fingertips, pulling the belly button up towards the spine, feeling strong here. And on your next inhale, weight's going to shift forward. As you exhale, chaturanga, lowering yourself down. Inhale, back bend of choice. Maybe this time we come into upward facing dog, or maybe we stay with cobra. And exhale, sending the hips high, downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. Again, if you'd like to find some movement, maybe we pedal out those legs. Maybe we shake the head yes and no. Maybe we drop down to a tabletop. Let's bring the gaze back in between the hands. Walk, step, or hop the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. On your next inhale, arms sweep up, coming to standing. And as you exhale, reaching the fingertips to the left this time, hips bump to the right. Same options here as on the first side. Maybe that left hand drops down to the left thigh for a bit more support. Maybe we cross the right ankle over the left if you'd like to deepen the stretch. Or maybe the left arm stays reaching for a little bit more challenge through the core here. Beautiful job. Finding whatever feels best for you. Making sure it's still somewhere we can fully breathe through, somewhere that feels good through the body. Beautiful. On your next inhale, let's come back to center. And exhale, bending the knees, sitting the hips low. Chair pose, round 2. Again, hands can always come back to heart center if extended arms is too much through the shoulders. And then thinking of keeping the lower back flat, pulling the belly button in towards the spine, and then sending your hip bones straight back to the back edge of your mat. With every inhale, lifting the chest, every exhale, sitting through the legs just a little bit lower. You've got it. Just a couple more breaths here. Beautiful job. Perfect. On your next exhale, let's fold forward. Coming back to that forward fold, maybe we grab onto opposite elbows once again, or maybe we come into gorilla, taking the palms of the hands underneath the feet, applying a little bit of pressure from the feet to the palms of the hands, allowing yourself to get a little bit deeper into this forward fold, letting the head and shoulders fall heavy. Couple breaths here. If you took those hands under the feet, let's release. If you grabbed onto opposite elbows, also releasing that grip. As you inhale, finding a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, hands plant, stepping back, high plank. Good, feeling strong here. On your next inhale, weight shifts forward. Exhale, chaturanga, elbows hug into the side of the body, shoulders lower to elbow height. Inhale, back bend of choice. Upward facing dog's great for stretching the front body. Cobra's great for strengthening the back body. And as you exhale, send the hips high, downward facing dog. From here, in your next inhale, let's lift the right leg high to the sky, pressing the heel out and away from you, and then beginning to bend through the knee, feeling that opening through the right side body. Trying to draw the knee up towards the ceiling, and then keeping equal weight through both hands here. Nice job. Couple more breaths here. On your next inhale, let's extend the right leg long. And then from here, as you exhale, in as many steps as it takes, stepping the right foot in between the hands. Perfect. From here, coming high on your back toes. And as you inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead, shoulders stack on top of hips. Exhale, sit just 1 inch lower here. Beautiful job. Couple breaths here in our Virabhadrasana D or Warrior 4, ensuring that back heel is lifted high, bending through the front knee. Beautiful job. Let's take 2 more breaths here. You've got it. Feeling the strength through the legs. Maybe sitting just a little bit lower. And from here, we can take the hands through heart center, framing the front foot, and then we're gonna drop down to the back knee and tucking the toes. If you're on a hard surface, you might wanna roll that yoga mat up a couple times just to protect the knee here, or maybe even putting a blanket or a cushion underneath that back knee. But we're just gonna take a couple breaths here in our Anjaneyasana, or low lunge, feeling that stretch through the front of the back hip here. Checking that your front knee stays stacked over front ankle. If your knee is way ahead of your ankle, maybe just wiggling that foot forward a little bit. Letting those hips settle forward. Couple breaths here. Beautiful job here. Reconnecting with that breath, just like that lengthened breath we began our practice with. Seeing if we can maintain the length even as we add that physical practice in here. Whenever you're ready, we're gonna take the left hand under the left shoulder. The right thumb's gonna come to the right hip crease. Then we're just gonna open the chest up to the right side of the room for a gentle twist here. If you'd like a little bit more, we can reach the right arm up towards the ceiling if that feels all right through the shoulders. Or just keeping it at the lower back or at the hip here. Keeping those hips settling forward. And again, just like that seated twist we started with every inhale, find length through the spine. With every exhale, maybe we're able to twist just a little bit deeper. Beautiful job. 2 more breaths here. Last breath here. As you exhale, return back to center, frame the front foot. And then from here, we're just gonna send the hips back behind us, beginning to extend through the front knee for our half split here. Flexing the toes up towards the face. And then finding length through the spine. So we wanna be nice and long here and lifted. Try not to round forward into this forward fold. Beautiful job. Keeping the toes flexing back towards the face. Just 2 more breaths here, feeling the stretch through the back of the right leg, into the hamstring, maybe a bit into the calf as well here. On your next inhale, shifting the weight forward once again, framing your front foot. Tucking your back toes underneath you, lifting that back knee up off the ground, and then we'll step the right foot back to meet the left in our high plank. Perfect. From here, let's inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of choice. And exhale, sending the hips high, downward facing dog. Let's bring the gaze forward. Walk, step, or hop the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale, find that halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. On your next inhale, arms are gonna sweep up overhead, coming to standing. And exhale, hands come through heart center and down beside you. Perfect. If you'd like, you can grab a sip of water and we'll meet in Tadasana whenever you're ready. Meeting at the top of your mat, in that nice tall mountain pose whenever you're ready here. Standing tall, standing strong, rolling the shoulders back and down, finding energy through the fingers. As you inhale, arms come up overhead, finding length through the spine. Exhale, swan dive forward. Arms can come out to the sides if that feels all right. As you inhale, finding your halfway lift. And exhale, hands plant, stepping back, high plank. From here, inhale, weight shifts forward. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of choice, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, hips go high, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, left leg lifts this time. Pressing that left heel out and away from you, finding length through that lifted leg. And then beginning to bend through the left knee, heel comes towards the glute. Again, trying to keep equal weight through both hands here. Keeping the chest pressing back towards the right leg. And then trying to draw that left knee straight up towards the ceiling, or as close to it as we can get it. On your next inhale, extending through the left leg. And as you exhale, stepping your left foot in between your hands, maybe helping it up there with the left hand. Good, coming high on your back toes, finding that strength through the legs. Whenever you're ready, let's inhale, sweep the arms up, shoulders stack on top of hips. Good, sitting 1 inch lower through the legs. You've got it. Couple breaths here. Beautiful job. Again, if extended arms is ever too much through the shoulders, maybe they come to heart center or even just to the hips. Finding what works best for your body here. Just because I'm offering something doesn't mean it needs to be taken. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Beautiful job. One more breath here. And as you exhale, hands are going to come through heart center. Frame the front foot, dropping your back knee, untucking the toes. Feeling the hips sinking forward in our Anjaneyasana here on the left side. Taking a quick peek, that front knee is stacked over front ankle. Hips are settling forward. Couple deep breaths here. Beautiful job. Feeling that stretch through the front of the right hip here maybe. Maybe you're feeling it through the left hip. Just letting it go. Couple more breaths here. And whenever you're ready, this time we'll take the right hand under the right shoulder. Left thumb comes to left hip crease, and then opening the chest up to the left side of the room for that twist. Always twisting through a lengthened spine. So make sure with those inhales we grow long, crown of the head reaches to the front of the room. With those exhales, twisting just a little bit deeper. Maybe we extend that arm up towards the ceiling this time, or maybe it stays on the hip or the lower back. Let's take 2 more breaths here through this twist. Still feeling those hips settling forward towards the mat. And on your next exhale, coming back to center, framing the front foot, and then beginning to walk yourself back as that left leg extends. Finding that length through the spine, reaching the chest forward and through. Flexing the toes back towards the face. And then sending the breath to the back of the left leg, maybe into the hamstring, the calf, wherever you're feeling this stretch the most. Maybe you're feeling it in the upper body here, maybe through the shoulders or the upper back as we fold forward. Just a couple breaths here. Beautiful job, everyone. On your next inhale, let's bring ourselves back forward. Tucking the back toes underneath you, lifting the knee high. And then whenever you're ready, stepping the left foot back to meet the right. Let's flow it out. Inhale, weight shifts forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of choice. And exhale, sending the hips high, downward facing dog. Good. Taking a couple breaths here. We're going to be here for around 5 to 6 breaths. If you'd like to go for another round of flow, you're welcome to. If you'd like to drop down to tabletop and grab some water, you're welcome to. Or just maybe hanging out in that downward facing dog. Just taking these breaths wherever feels best for you. Beautiful job. In the next 3 breaths or so, we'll meet back in that downward facing dog if you're not already there. Or if you're in a child's pose taking a rest, you're more than welcome to stay there. Whenever you're ready, let's inhale, lift the right leg high. As you exhale, stepping your right foot forward in between the hands. And then we're going to drop the left heel down so that left foot comes parallel to the back edge of the mat. Getting yourself ready for warrior 2. Inhale, arms sweep up, shoulders stack on top of hips. Beautiful. So we want that front foot intersecting the back foot somewhere around the arch. And then checking that your shoulders are stacked over top of your hips. If you feel like you're reaching way far forward, it's going to be really hard to hold this posture. Thinking of stacking your joints on top of one another so that we can settle in here. Beautiful job. From here, let's take the left hand to the left thigh. Right arm reaches up and over for exalted warrior. Stretching through that front side body here. Beautiful job. Keeping that bend to the front knee. Just a couple breaths here. Nice job. On your next inhale, returning back to center. From here, we're going to take the arms back behind us, interlocking the fingers. Rolling the shoulders open. And then as you exhale, coming forward, bringing the right shoulder to the inside edge of the right knee for our humble warrior. If that's too much, we could always take the hands away from the back body, bringing them forward here for a little bit more support. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Beautiful job. On your next inhale, bringing yourself back up to center, releasing the hands out to the sides one more time. And then we're going to take the right forearm to the right thigh. Left arm sweeps up and open for our extended side angle. Good. Keeping those legs bent. Dropping the shoulder away from the ear. And then finding length right from the left fingertips all the way down to that left foot. Beautiful job. Couple breaths here. Good. On your next inhale, let's come back to center. From here, we're going to windmill the arms, frame the front foot, stepping back, finding your high plank, and then option to flow or option just to meet in a downward facing dog. If you're ready, we can inhale, weight shifts forward, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of choice. And exhale, sending the hips high, downward facing dog. Once again, we'll hang out here for a couple breaths. So if you'd like to press back into a child's pose, drop down to a tabletop, grab some water, or even take another round of flow, you're welcome to do that here. Beautiful job, everyone. We'll meet back in that downward facing dog in the next 3 breaths or so if you're not already there. Good, whenever you're ready. Coming back to that downward facing dog, or if you'd like to spend a couple extra breaths in that child's pose, joining back in whenever you're ready. On your next inhale, we'll lift the left leg high this time. And as you exhale, stepping the left foot between the hands. Dropping the back foot down so it's parallel to the back edge of the mat. And as you inhale, windmilling the arms, finding your way into your warrior 2 on the second side. Pressing through the pinky toe side edges of the feet here. Taking a quick peek down at your left foot, making sure you can still see that big toe. If your knee's rounding forward and you can't see that big toe, just think of opening that knee up just a little bit more. Beautiful job. As you exhale, sit 1 inch lower through the legs. And then from here, let's take the right hand down to the right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. Exalted warrior here. Good, keeping that chest open, dropping the shoulders down and away from the ears. Beautiful job. Feeling that side body stretch through the left side here. Good, 1 more breath here. Your next inhale, coming back up, warrior 2. From here, taking the hands back behind you, interlocking the fingers, maybe trying the opposite grip this time. Rolling the shoulders back and down. And then whenever you're ready, coming into our humble warrior, left shoulder comes to inner edge of the left knee. Arms can reach up towards the ceiling, feeling that opening through the shoulders and into the chest. Or maybe coming into that more supported version here with the hands down on the ground. Couple breaths here. Feeling the strength through the legs, feeling that support underneath you. On your next inhale, coming back to center. Releasing the grip, arms come out long. And then taking left forearm to left thigh, right arm sweeps up and around. Extended side angle here. Beautiful job. Finding length through that entire right side. Imagine you could draw a straight line right from the fingertips to the foot here. Let's take 2 more deep breaths, dropping that right shoulder down and away from the ear. As you inhale, coming back up, stacking shoulders on top of hips. Exhale, windmill the arms, stepping back, finding your high plank. Option for a flow here. Option just to press back into your downward facing dog. Option to come into a child's pose. Beautiful job, everyone. Meeting back in your downward facing dog in your next couple breaths. Whenever you're ready, we'll take the gaze in between the hands. Walk, step, or hop the feet up to meet the hands. As you inhale, finding a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. And then from here, we're just gonna heel toe the feet out slightly so they're a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Toes are gonna open on around a 45-degree angle. And then from here, as you exhale, bending through the knees, sitting the hips low, coming into your yogi squat here. Big hip opener. This isn't the most comfortable pose for you. If you have like a cushion or even a yoga block, you can place it under the hips for a little bit more support. Hands can come to heart center here, opening up the chest. We won't be here super, super long, so just a couple deep breaths here. You've got it. Nice job, everyone. Really thinking of pressing the chest forward and through, trying to avoid rounding through the upper back here. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Nice job. Last breath here. And whenever you're ready, the hands can come back down to the ground. You can extend the legs straight up to the ceiling, bringing the toes back to facing forward, ending up in a bit of a wider forward fold here. And then let's heel toe those feet out even wider so they're around mat width distance apart or even further. Coming into that wide leg forward fold. Letting the shoulders and the head round forward. Letting go here. From here, let's take an inhale, finding a halfway lift, reaching the crown of the head to the front of the room, just coming high on those fingertips. And then we're gonna take the right hand right under the right shoulder. Left hand's gonna come to the lower back, and then just opening the chest up to the left side of the room for a twist here. Again, maybe you choose to extend the left arm up towards the ceiling, opening up a bit more through the shoulder here. Nice job. 1 more breath here. And exhale, coming back through center. Left hand comes under left shoulder. Inhale, right arm comes to our lower back, opening the chest up to the right side of the room. And then maybe we choose to extend the right arm straight up towards the ceiling. Beautiful job. Imagining those shoulders stacking one on top of the other, opening through the chest. On your next exhale, coming back to center. We're gonna take a nice big bend through the knees. Hands are gonna catch the hips. And slowly bringing yourself all the way up to standing. Head comes up last. Heel toeing the feet into center. And then you can grab a sip of water whenever you're ready. And we'll meet in Tadasana one final time at the top of our mats whenever you're ready. Finding that mountain pose, standing tall. Shoulders roll back and down. Feeling strong here. As you inhale, let's sweep those arms up overhead. And exhale, folding forward. On your next inhale, finding your halfway lift, crown of the head reaches to the front of the room. And exhale, hands plant, stepping back, high plank. On your next inhale, weight shifts forward. Exhale, chaturanga, elbows bend, hugging into the sides of the body. As you inhale, back bend of choice. And exhale, send the hips high, downward facing dog. From here, let's bend the knees, coming down to our tabletop, untucking the toes. Again, if we're on a hard surface, we might want to roll the yoga mat up a couple times here, taking it under the knees for just a bit more padding. And then from here, we're going to extend the right leg straight out to the right side of the room. And then just pressing yourself up so your shoulders stack on top of your hips. Inhale, reaching the arms out to the sides of the room. Beautiful. From here, as you exhale, we're going to reach the left hand down to the ground, coming into our gates pose. As you inhale, let's lift the right leg high. Exhale, releasing it down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Good. 2 more here. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. As you inhale, we're going to lift that leg high. It's going to stay here. Now, option to keep the leg extended, or maybe we begin to bend through the right knee. Maybe the right arm reaches back behind us, grabbing onto the ankle. Good. Opening up through the chest here, feeling a gentle stretch through the front of the right quad. Thinking of pressing those hips forward and through. Just a couple breaths here. You've got it. Again, if you're feeling pressure through that bottom knee, maybe a pillow or a blanket underneath it helps. Beautiful job. If you took that bind on your next exhale, let's release arm and leg long once again. Taking the right foot down, and as you inhale, bringing yourself back up to stacking shoulders on top of hips. Bending the right knee in, coming down to kneeling, and then from here, we're just gonna inhale, reach the right arm up and over, shifting the hips slightly to the right, stretching through the right side body here. Perfect. On your next inhale, coming back to center, returning back to your tabletop, and then this time extending the left leg out to the left side of the room. Pressing yourself up so shoulders stack on top of hips. Inhale, reaching the arms out long. And as you exhale, taking the right hand down, right under the right shoulder. Try to stack your shoulders right on top of one another. And then beginning to move with the breath once again. As you inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, release. Inhale to lift. Exhale, release. Beautiful job. Inhale to lift. Exhale to release. Last time, inhale, it stays high. Maybe we keep that leg lifted and extended, or maybe we begin to bend through the left knee, taking the left hand back behind you, finding that bind. Now, it might happen on one side and not the other. That's okay, that's normal. Maybe we just keep reaching the hand back for the ankle. Maybe one day we'll reach it. Beautiful job, opening up through the front of the body here, feeling that stretch through the quad, through the shoulder. One more breath here. And slowly releasing, extending the arm and leg long. Bringing yourself back up to center. And then bringing the left leg in to meet the right, just coming down to kneeling. As you inhale, left arm reaches up and over, hips shift to the left slightly. Breathing here. A couple deep breaths. Opening the chest, dropping the shoulder away from the ear. Perfect. On your next inhale, coming back to center. And let's just come into a child's pose, reaching the arms long in front of you, forehead pressing down to the ground. Now you can come to a wide leg child's pose with the big toes to touch, knees can come wide. Or maybe you're more comfortable in a more traditional child's pose with the knees together. Wherever you are, it might feel nice to take the arms back behind you, allowing the shoulders to round forward. Just feeling that stretch through the back body here. Taking a couple breaths here. If you walk those arms back behind you, let's bring them back underneath the shoulders and just pressing yourself up to seated. And then from here, we'll sit onto a hip, swinging the legs around and in front of you. We'll make our way into our cool down, starting in butterfly pose here. So bringing the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to fall open. From here, as you inhale, sit up tall, find length. Then as you exhale, begin to fold forward here. And feeling a nice gentle stretch, maybe in through the inner thighs. Maybe you're feeling this stretch here into the upper body as well, maybe between the shoulders and into the upper back. Just allowing yourself to come into wherever feels comfortable for your body, finding a gentle stretch. Good, taking 2 more breaths here. With every exhale, maybe feeling yourself settle just a little bit heavier into this forward fold. On your next inhale, beginning to walk yourself back up. From here, we're going to extend the right leg out to the side, keeping the left leg bent in. Reaching your right hand to your right foot. Inhale, left arm reaches up and over. Just a little gentle side bend stretch here. Opening through the chest. Beautiful job. On your next inhale, bringing yourself back up. And exhale, walking yourself forward. Good. Checking in with that right knee, keeping it straight up towards the ceiling. Try to keep both hip bones grounded down to the mat here. Just allowing yourself to settle forward into this forward fold wherever is comfortable for you to do so. On your next inhale, beginning to bring yourself back up to seated. We'll just switch legs here, extending the left leg long, bending up the right. Reaching the left hand for left foot, right arm reaches up and over, opening through the chest, dropping the shoulder away from the ears. Good, inhaling, coming back to center. And exhale, folding forward. Good, coming back to those nice deep breaths here. Making sure we never hold that breath in these postures. If you feel yourself holding that breath and unable to maintain those deep breaths, it might be a sign you've come just a little bit too far. Whenever you're ready, beginning to walk yourself back up. And we're just going to send both legs long in front of us. We're going to make our way onto our backs. If you'd like to grab a sip of water before coming down there, now would be a great time to do so. Whenever you're ready, we'll meet on our backs here. We're going to bend up the knees. And then let's send the legs straight up towards the ceiling here. From here, we're going to cross the left leg over top of the right, crossing at the knees. And then beginning to bend through the knees and just allowing the legs to fall over to the right side of the body for a twisted roots twist here. Now, if this is too much with the legs crossed, we can always uncross the legs, stacking hips and knees one on top of the other. And then maybe the gaze goes over the left shoulder if that feels all right through the neck. Beautiful job, just a couple breaths here. On your next inhale, bringing the legs back to center, sending them long towards the sky, and then crossing the right leg on top of the left this time, bending through the knees, allowing the legs to fall over to the left side of the body. Again, if there's another variation of a twist you'd prefer to take, you can come there now. Maybe the gaze looks over the right shoulder this time, or maybe it stays straight up towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, bringing your legs back to center, Uncrossing the legs and hugging the knees in towards the chest. Maybe rocking side to side, giving yourself a nice tight squeeze here. And whenever you're ready, on an exhale, sending your arms and legs long, settling into your final Shavasana here. Finding any comfortable position you'd like to finish your practice off in. Maybe arms and legs long, maybe knees bent up if you're feeling any lower back sensitivity. Maybe you're more comfortable on your side or your stomach. Coming wherever you feel supported here. Just enjoying a couple final moments of stillness. If you've been working with control over the breath here, maybe letting that control go. Returning back to your natural rhythm of breathing. Just taking a moment here. Checking in with the body. Maybe noticing how it's feeling compared to when you first came onto your mat today. And then if you set an intention for yourself at the beginning of our practice, just taking a moment to revisit that intention. If it's something that you feel like it may still serve you, just taking a moment here to reinforce it. Maybe considering what it would look like moving forward if you were to take that intention with you. If it's something that you feel has served its purpose and you're ready to let it go, maybe just letting it go with an exhale. Whenever you're ready, on your next couple breaths, let's start to invite some movement back into the bodies, beginning with fingers and toes. Starting to roll through wrists and ankles. And then if you'd like, maybe taking a nice big full body stretch if your body feels like it could use one. Arms can come up overhead, legs can reach long in front of you. Then as you exhale, bringing the knees in towards the chest, then just rolling onto your right side here. And extend the arm up overhead, supporting the head. Taking a couple breaths in this fetal position, just getting ready to return back to your day. Then whenever you're ready, you can use that left hand to press yourself back up to seated. Thank you all for joining me today. Once again, my name is Nicole. I hope you enjoyed that practice, and I hope to see you guys maybe sometime soon for another class.